guys, you better strap in because I have a lot to say and I just want to talk some smack about Arcane Season 2. Now, why did I end up making this video? Honestly, it was mostly because I was getting sick and tired of seeing reviews on YouTube. Not all, but some reviews on YouTube acting and giving this season praise as if Season 1 doesn't exist. Like, all their critiques, the way that they view this season is as if Season 1 doesn't exist, which I have a problem with. Because Season 1 is arguably one of Netflix's best animated series that they've ever released. And at least for Season 1, remarkable. Honestly, sure, one or two things are wrong, like one or two coincidences happen, but overall it's the story and its characters that made this season truly unforgettable, in my opinion. So when Season 2 was announced and it was released, I was really excited to see it, and then I saw it. What happened? Like, really, what happened? Oh, you know, probably had to do with the fact that they fired like most of their writing team. I guess that wasn't a good idea, huh, guys? Now, guys, I'm not gonna go into too much depth into this season, okay? There's plenty of videos out there doing that. I'm just gonna give you my problems as an average, not so smart viewer, you know, just someone that enjoys things that take me out of this world, and I just don't appreciate how reality is getting just constantly bombarding into my head. It's mostly gonna be talking about the things that I just really didn't like, okay? So let it be that. Me looking down, guys, is because I actually wrote everything down. Like, I have, what is it? 12,000 words. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna be a long video, but I'm excited. But let's start with some of the positives, okay? Overall, this season looks amazing still awe-inspiring. Just the animators are truly just blowing it out of the park. This season looks amazing all the time. That's not the problem here. That's about it, honestly. Not even joking. If I come up with something down the line, sure, but guess what? I can't say the same for Season 1, which there are so many scenes that I truly love and I just hold them so dear to me. To me, the worst of it all was just the destruction of these characters. I'll be talking about some of the characters, but I'm not going to be going in a particular order. This is just the way I have them written down, so just take it as you will. Is Savika, if we all remember. I don't know what I expected from this character other than maybe taking over and becoming the new crime lord after Soko's death, and maybe continuing the strained relationship between her and Jinx, and also the relationship between the two cities, especially now that Jinx did what she did in Season 1. Maybe some infighting with her would have been interesting to have seen, you know, especially since Jinx is a little bit more unstable, a little bit crazy. She doesn't really have anything to lose. But maybe some other, like, fighting with Vi over control of Zaun or the future of Zaun. It's just me speculating, but that's what I thought Season 2 was gonna go with. But we didn't get that. What did we get? A few scenes with her, with maybe one sort of a fight scene. She gets a council seat in a majority council that's just gonna vote her out in every single decision because it's just her representing Zaun. Everyone else is from Piltover. Basically, it's just a waste of time. She's not doing anything. None of the interesting crime leader meetings happened. Like, nothing about Shimmer. Nothing. It was just a waste of a character. And then she shows up in the ending and you're like, oh yeah, you remember her? Somehow she gets this. And we're just supposed to be cool. Everything else that this character did was honestly just forgettable. It's nothing that I would brag home about at all. We're gonna talk about is Singe. So first of all, who the fuck was Singe? I barely remembered this character from Season 1, other than he had everything to do with the Shimmer going into Jinx and helping saving her life, and then the last scene where it looked like he had like a monster wolf hung up and it looks like he was experimenting with Shimmer. But other than that, I just pictured him as the mad scientist. I never pictured him as an integral character other than that. But I don't know. Turns out he's an awful human being that loves to torture and murder people in this season. And oh, and also it turns out that he has a daughter, which just means that it automatically justifies everything that he does in order for him to be happy. So he gets the only happy ending in Season 2. Okay, what else they could have done, like, other than with him maybe experimenting with Shimmer? maybe running into Victor and maybe somehow mixing the two technologies and seeing what happens in an interesting way. Not what season 2 did. That made absolutely no freaking sense. It was just connect cables to this and that and hope it works. And of course it did. Forgettable character. I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending that they gave him because it felt like so undeserved. But alright, you know, I'm probably gonna get a lot of smack from this one because everyone seems to really like this character. And I really like this character too, guys. That's why I'm pissed, and that's why I'm making this video. Okay, so Echo. Holy fuck, did they destroy this character? So, number one on this character in season 1 was, he had an interesting arc. He was a man of the people. He wants to help people and those in need, and actually stop the crime and drugs that go into Tucson due to Silco and his gang. At the end of season 1, we see him kind of taking Heimerdinger and maybe like maybe trying to find solutions to this problem in a way that benefits the people that are in most need, and maybe try to unite both cities. Nah, he fucks off for the rest of the season, honestly. And also the people that live in the tree, that we got the rainbow goo that showed up. We don't get any conclusion to that. We just assume that it was resolved. And what about the people that were in need? When Echo was missing, how long was he missing for? Questions that we need answers to and we just don't get them. And then the stupid episode 7 that for some reason everyone keeps worshiping as if it's this grand gesture of I don't know what. Episode 7 means absolutely nothing. Nothing, because it happens in another universe, in an alternate universe that he cannot live in. It means nothing. So the whole love scenario with Powder, and it's like, what was the point of this? What was the point? You could have spent all episode 7 just focusing on Echo and what he used to be in season 1, but no, you gave him a fake girlfriend and a fake love story only for him to go back, return, all depressed as shit because he doesn't have a girlfriend. Wow, what a way to minimize the character. What a way to take away his goals, his aspirations. He is reduced to nothing other than being sad and moping around that he can't be with the Powder from the other universe. It was so stupid, and I hated it. And I hate the fact that people really think that this is a great episode. Woo! Goose Fraba. I need to calm down. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go to Mel. Oh my god, I have a lot to say about her too. Alright, y'all remember the love story between Jace? Yeah, it was actually it was an intense love, and it was actually very interesting because yes, Mel was kind of using Jace for his technology, to be frank, but in a way they kind of started caring for each other. It would have been interesting to explore that in season 2, just with Jace finding out that Mel was kind of using him, and then somehow that puts a strain in their relationship. Also, that might not help if Ambassa is involved as well. Maybe she comes in and tries to mess things up, or somehow trying to manipulate Mel against him in order to get the technology. I don't know, that's just me. I'm just putting stuff out there. This is, again, stuff that could have done that would have been a little bit more interesting, testing their relationship. But in this season, Jace and Mel act as if they don't know each other, or if they don't like each other anymore. When did this happen? They just don't talk to each other. Hell, they don't even kiss in this season. Like, what happened? Like, did we miss a season before seeing this season? Because it just feels incredibly out of place, especially after the attack from Jinx. You would think that a traumatic event like that would bring them closer, but no. Apparently they just get over themselves and they go their separate ways, and somehow Jace dies and Mel gives no fucks. And I'm just gonna mention this thing. I just really want to mention this. I don't like what they did with her arc. It is not an interesting arc. It was actually very confusing when you added that. And then she gets new powers that are never explained, one, never informed of as to how they work, or why she's so special. Also the gold that she had in her body, apparently those are tattoos now, and she can't take those off. Which, by the way, at the end of, I don't know if you guys remember, this is going to be a very weird thing, but at the end of season 1, when Jinx launches the actual bomb into the council meeting, you get a flash of Mel's, like, gold that she has in her back. Me, being a dum-dum, assumed that that was actually armor. It made sense. Given that Mel, from the looks of it, she comes from a very rich, strong, and kind of military family. It would have made sense that they had armor or weapons that no one really knows about in order for them to defend themselves better. And it would have been cool that armor, she always wears it, because if something like this happens, the armor somehow protects her from any injury. Again, that's what it looked like. That's what I thought they were gonna go with. I know it's a small detail and I could be reading too much into it, but I just don't like that they just made it tattoos. And what? So she can't take them off? Like, at all? Okay. She learns her powers very quickly. Like, she knows how to use them very quickly. Also, she goes back home for some reason. I thought that in season 1 it was implied that she didn't agree with the way her family does things and that she wanted to be different, but that she was aware that she didn't have that many powers compared to the other family members. But that's not explored. She just goes back home with her new powers, and yeah, congratulations. I don't care. So with Caitlyn, this is an interesting one. In the opening of season 2 was probably the only good thing in this season. Obviously with Caitlyn's mom's funeral, and it was honestly beautifully done, and I thought it was appropriate overall, but that was basically the only thing about her that I really liked, and they nailed, honestly, in the beginning of the season. But okay, so my problem with Caitlyn is that she acts as if she's so smart, but then her actions are incredibly dumb and almost nonsensical at times. Where I thought her character was gonna go was just, you know, after the bombing of the council, maybe Caitlyn becomes adamant about hunting down her mother's killer, which is Jinx, leading her to hate Zaun, and because of that she hates Zaun. And this can also put her at odds with Vi. Even though they kind of break it off in season 1, obviously they're probably going to be like, you know, tensions between the two of them. But they never really go over that at all. The thing about it is that they kind of did where they kind of made her into a dictator. Sure, you can have her be a dictator. The problem in the series is that it has a tendency of singing it to me in a music video and not show me what her actions are, the effects of her actions on her and others. There's nothing. I feel like it would have been very interesting to have seen Caitlyn's slow downturn to just basically becoming evil almost, because of her, you know, she wants revenge. That's what she wants, and I don't blame her for it. And that would have been interesting to have seen what that would have done with her relationship with Vi. Maybe Vi helps her get out of that darkness. You could have done so many things with that, but they don't. They just put it all in a music video, expect you to just be like, oh, perfect storytelling, and it's not. It's lazy story writing. You can't just sing your story to people sometimes, okay? Like, especially in crucial moments like that, that would have been interesting to have seen, not be like exposition dumped to me. Okay, so the ending was incredibly dumb. Are you trying to tell me that a woman who saw her mom be murdered by a terrorist watched a video of the possible terrorist possibly getting away and she just smirks and goes along with it? She smirks. Are you kidding me? This Jinx killed her mother and she just smirked. She's just okay with it now. Because, you know, we're all about forgiveness, and it's just, you know, screw it. You know, you can just do whatever you want apparently in this world. Everyone will just forgive you at some point, and you have to face no consequences for your actions at all. But that was just a disappointing thing. It's like they could have done a lot with Caitlyn, and they were like, nah, forgiveness is good. Okay, forgiveness is good, but it sometimes just doesn't make any sense. You can't just throw it out there and be like, forgiveness. You know, that's not writing. So for Jinx, what I think Jinx was gonna do after the ending of season 1 was just basically mass hysteria. I just thought that we were just gonna see her bring chaos and destruction to everything, you know? That's what I thought they were gonna go with, because it made the most sense after season 1. She has nothing to lose, so it makes perfect sense. she messes up the dynamic between the two cities, making them now at odds, and then she just continues to make that worse because she'll probably start believing what Silco believes, which is that they should be an independent city. I don't know. They could have done something with that, but I was expecting to just see her go all out. I was expecting like she doesn't care. It could have been interesting. Maybe Savika also hiding her as well. That way she keeps helping with Shimmer, maybe using her technology to Savika's advantage. Who knows? You could have done so much with her character the way you left her off in season 1. In a good way too, because it really does affect so many of the characters. What did we get? Honestly, her moping around, being sad and depressed in a cave, and she just does fuck all for the season. And other than having like a midlife crisis every 10 fucking minutes. Oh, and you know who does do something? A dumb kid that for some reason the show just like we needed a plot similar to Silco. Like, what is the point of this child? Because honestly, the only thing I remember about this kid is that it doesn't talk. Other than that, I don't give a damn. That episode where she takes the stupid gun, points it at the wolf, or whatever the hell that thing is, and just doesn't kill anyone other than herself. What a useless character. And then again, what does Jinx do? Get all mopey about it, all sad and shit, and goes get a shitty haircut, and then really starts doing something. Finally, the whole moral of Jinx's story is that in violence, it's just better to walk away. Yeah? What about the families of the enforcers that you killed? Do they get a say in it? Nothing, because that's just how the world works. Isn't that nice?